Well, the pillars of American finance are under attack, and that's been going on for quite some time. But I do think the American dollar itself is going to stay relatively strong. It's not. You're not going to see the dollar go to oblivion. You're not going to see the dollar become an insignificant currency. It's going to be a world reserve currency for many decades, probably for the foreseeable future. At least we'll put it that way. Even though the American government has a lot of debt, we have these trade imbalance and everything. I know about all that, but I think the powers that be do not want it to totally bring down a dollar all the way. Although we're going to see a diminishment of the American power in the world, a diminishment of the American military might and that type of stuff. But the pillars of American finance are under attack now. A lot of people are staying above water. Some people are staying above water just by standing on their motorcycles in case there's a flood coming and signaling everybody, hey, get your head above water because, even though this looks like a dry desert today, you never know when a flash flood can happen. That's exactly what you got silver for. And a message to the elite, the one thing we know that is life is to be lived, not to be controlled, right? Not to be controlled. So, you know how things are. Like, everybody's a control freak. A lot of times people are into the computers a lot. The engineer types, the mathematician types. I am one of those types too, but, I'm not a control freak. I can tell you a lot of those type of people are serious control freaks, but the American people will not put up with it. One of the things I always said about silver, though, is at least it's owned money. Got to be careful, though. Nobody steals it or anything like that, but it's owned money. It's not something you're part of the system. And I'll relate a couple stories about some things that are going on because give you a pause to think about, the wisdom of having actual physical owned money. I used to work for briefly the government, the federal government, for a little while, and I have OPM records, Office of Personnel Management records, because I did applications. Well, I just got a letter from them not that long ago talking about the cybersecurity leak. And you know where that probably came from. Hillary Clinton's email server, because it was a backdoor to the entire State Department and the Defense Department, and that's probably has linked to the Office of Personnel Management records being hacked by the Chinese and the Russians. Well, I'm going to tell you, that's one of the big problems with electronic finance versus having owned money, is that the security is not perfect. Now, also about what's going on even with eBay accounts. Some of the eBay accounts are being sold on a black market for 1,400 British pounds a piece. And, there's a lot of other things going on. I mean, there's, you've seen what happened when you try to go to cryptocurrencies, what happens with Bitcoin, and, different things that, that get hacked into, or the different problems that happen. So, it's kind of like the best thing to go back is old school, just like old girl here. She's on a motorcycle, but, she's got the old school type simple motorcycle with the points set up and no bullshit, and no fancy stuff. It just works, because when you're out in the desert and nobody's there to help you, hey, man, you got to stay old school. And the elite ain't going to help you. It's going to be lurch, You rang. And they're going to put the controls on this, man. That's what will happen. So I'll tell you, man, you want to be freaking... You see, this is one thing that always disgusted me about being up north, because that's why I actually got out of up north and went into the Marine Corps. And then after I got out of the Marine Corps, I came down south to Dixieland. Everybody up there is like, they'll help. They got to do something. Somebody up there's got to help us. I'm like, nah, screw that shit, man. We help ourselves. And that's really why people own silver. But... if you notice what's been going on recently, the dollar's been, not the day-to-day. Like, I know today the metals have taken a hit, the market's taken a very slight hit. But you notice how over the last weeks, at least several weeks or at least a few months, that the markets have been taking a hit far more than the metals. The metals have been going up a little bit, down a little bit, up a little bit, down a little bit, pretty much flat. But the general equities have been taking a hit. Now, I'm going to tell you something else. That even like this stuff with the elite and Hillary, and which includes Hillary Clinton, one of the top secretaries of the elite, they're not going to freaking win out. I don't think so, because the thing is, people are getting wise. There's more people wise to the situation than you think. Actually, somebody pointed out a link to me on Amazon. I was surprised. I don't want to make a separate video about it, but I'm going to tell you, and I'll just comment on it here. It was about Sandy Hook. And, it all relates to, like, it wasn't, in other words, it was an Amazon book review, a book that was being put out about Sandy Hook, and the book was about the heroics that went on when Sandy Hook with how people, reacted to the situation, the school shooting. And there was like loads of people that were commenting on Amazon, which is not a conspiracy site, it was just selling a book. They rated the book down to like 0 because they said that it was basically, they said that Sandy Hook was a hoax. So a lot of people are very aware of what's going on. A lot of people don't trust the system. A lot of people probably hate Hillary Clinton's guts, even though they got all these staged freaking, meet and greet freaking situations where it makes it look like she's greeting the public, and they're probably all filtered out paid people and stuff. But, it's telling me, and this is, by the way, this is her purse. This is the Hillary purse. That tells you a lot about that lady right there. So, anyway, I don't think but, there's a lot more people that are aware of what's going on. But, part of the problem is once you get disillusioned and you think the situation's so far gone and you don't do anything about it, that's when it becomes like you can be self-defeating. So, the one thing is always keep a positive attitude. That's why I don't push too much doom and gloom. Although I think we're going to have some far more serious situations coming up in the future sometime than even the doom and gloomers point out. But, the best thing to do is to keep a positive attitude and go forth to whatever comes at our way. But, the elite always have this thing, destruction is a form of creation. And that's why I think they're probably going to be pushing for World War III eventually. And that's where we're going to see the economies really implode. The commodities also go up way high because that's usually what happens during war. But they'll try to freaking put in a new structure where they can control us. And I'm saying, hell no, baby, hell no. But, I think, like I said, I repeat it before, like I'll say it again, with the pillars of American finance, I think they're under attack in so many different ways. Also by cyber attack, because if there's a way to rip people off by just hacking into computers, hacking into accounts, and since now they got all those Office of Personnel Management records, the Chinese do. I mean, there's a lot they could probably do that in a financial way, attacking individuals, which makes your money not safe wherever the hell it is, because they'll have your SSN, your birthday, everything else, right? They'll have all kinds of information on you. All they need is an account number, and then they can pose as you and do things and all this other shit, which makes it. And if that just starts to happen in a few percent of the population, well, I can tell you one thing: there's going to be a panic back into hard assets. That's why I think, I don't know if that is planned or, well, I don't think it was planned. But then again, I think they'll use it as an excuse to freaking put down harder rules on security, microchipping people, and all this other kind of shit, thanks to Hillary. But, any kind of crisis that's out there that can move the agenda forward, they will, right? But you get my drift on that? In other words, I'll say it again. I'm sorry to say it again. I know some people get it, some people don't. But, since they hacked into so many OPM records, they also hacked into eBay accounts, they hacked into Amazon accounts. But OPM records is like your whole life, Office of Personnel Management. If they start hacking into, they use that information to start hacking into people's finances because they have an account number or something like that, and they got your birthday, your, everything about you, your social security number and everything, your whole life history, your mother's maiden name, your father's name, whatever, your address and all this garbage, right? Well, then people are not going to trust the banking system, and there's going to be a lot more people. It only takes a few percent for this to happen to. There might be a major exodus out of electronic funds and into hard assets, which could make your silver go up. That's why I think the American pillars of American finance are really in jeopardy. That's another angle people aren't talking about. And I'll tell you another thing. Walmart, I know the Walmart model. You heard about what's going on at Walmart. I think it was all over like the alternative media too. I saw it on the major media and the alternative media. Their earnings expectations aren't as good. Well, they don't have the right kind of checkout girls there. If they had some really lively kid checkout girls like this, they'd probably get a lot more business. But they got problems coming from competition. Like Amazon is eating their ass, freaking, gobbling them up, biting them. What the hell is it? eBay is too, right? So a lot more is going online. Walmart's trying to freaking make something more for online business. But I can tell you, I think the retail sector itself has been going down because every year since 2008, 2009, the Friday after Thanksgiving, they call it Black Friday, which is supposed to be a big sales day, and Christmas sales have been getting less and less and less. Actually, I'm going to tell you the truth, some of the type of videos I'm putting out are probably going to be, well, not all of them, but the ones where I show how to do stuff, they're probably going to be more keepers for like people that really need to know how to do things and how to survive. And I think the money's still going to be spent by people. It's just that they're not going to be spending it on fluff. Like, in other words, if they could spend $200 on video games, they might say, well, I'm going to spend $50 on video games and $150 on things that are probably essential to my survival. So I think and that's actually going on in the retail market also with, the type of clothes people wear, like the type of clothes women wear and things like that. They'll be, instead of going like Macy's and Bamberger's and those type of stores up there that are like more highfalutin, they're shopping at like Old Navy more, just to be more practical. This girl probably got her Bandito from a leftover, biker out of a trash can and some biker threw away, but along with the dollars and stuff. But anyway, it's just that, a lot of people are just going with the flow, though. That's one thing to say. Look at it this way, too. It's whatever way the ball bounces, but just beware that the ball is probably bouncing in unexpected ways than most people are thinking. And, I'm pretty glad I'm down south. I was thinking about, going up north, I was like thinking about Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and all that kind of shit. I says, you know what? If I want to go up north, I think I'm going to go up to near the Cherokee National Forest in Tennessee, up in the Blue Ridge Mountains, as another place besides the one down there in Florida. Because I was thinking about it. I says, hey, I'm going to stay southern all the time. I could be cold and mountainous without actually getting up in Yankeeville. So, but I don't think I'm ever going to go to Yankeeville again. But I'll tell you that people just got to chill out. But do realize at the same time the pillars of American finance are under serious attack, not just for the reasons like the doom and gloomers are saying. Like, I don't think the dollar's going to oblivion. The dollar is not going to be a really weak currency. It's going to get a lot weaker, but it's still going to be a very important currency in the world, despite all the bullshit problems we got going on with the deficit and the trade deficit and the government deficit and all that. But it's not going to be a situation where it's going to oblivion, like these guys are saying. But at this other time, I think we're going to have a problem where, the hackers is one situation. And, here's another thing I was talking about before. We had the Carrington event one time back, it was 1859. I can't remember when it was exactly, but it was in 1800s. Boy, it was like, it was enough of a solar flare that actually, smoked the telegraphs. We had something like that today. I think it was 1859. Doing this from memory, right from the hip. But if we had something like that today, it would bring down our entire, grid or our, banking structure and everything. Nothing would work. You'd be no eye-line access or anything. I think that is getting more and more possible for this reason, because it looks like, and you can look at other channels like Adapt 2030. He talks about we're going into global mini ice age. Well, yes, I think that's true, but also that's coinciding with less sunspots, less a lowering of the magnetosphere of the Earth, which also means there's more cosmic rays hitting the Earth, which means greater chance of a solar EMP. And if that ever happened, man, I mean, it's not like going to be the end of the world for like forever, but it would cause a major havoc probably for, I don't know, months. So, And, that would be something probably the elite don't even know about, right? I mean, if that happens, they're not going to figure that out. They're not going to know ahead of time. It's just going to happen. But if you're prepared and you got your preps together, that's good. So anyway, don't be hooked up with a Hillary, though. I can tell you that right now. You don't need to have your family jewels in her purse and that type of stuff, because people like Hillary are poison, and that includes all her supporters. I'll tell you that right now. And the thing is, she's working for the elite, and the elite, I can tell you right now, the elite, they'll throw her under the bus too. I think that might happen. You might see Lurch say, you rang, pick her up and throw her out like, she's a dead mouse. Because, which is fine by me. I really hope so. But, you just got to stay prepared. And, we are seeing not just a norm. See, I think there's going to be like this pendulum in the commodities. You can already see it starting to happen. But what happens with commodities when the pendulum starts to swing? It basically starts to swing very slow, and it gets most of its gains in the end. That's probably why you're going to make money on the end, because what's going to happen is everybody's going to jump on that hard upward curve of silver that all happens in the last several months. And their greed is going to be, I got to buy it at any cost because it's going up so high, and that's when you sell it. And I'll probably be getting some property up there in the mountains in Tennessee. Ha ha! Along with a Model A Ford. So anyway, life is to be lived, not controlled. That's the motto of the day. And just remember, the pillars of American finance are basically all about control, and they're starting to fall apart a little bit. But that doesn't mean America's falling apart, and that doesn't mean the American people are falling apart. We're just celebrating, we're having a good time, we don't care. So anyway, let me put this out to you in more of a fun way, because, I don't like putting out real serious. I give you about the same information you'd find at any other financial place without the charts, and just put it out in a fun way. That's my style. But, you're still getting the same kind of information. I also know about Israel is sitting on a lot of oil. Israel's got probably a lot of natural gas off the coast of Gaza. I don't know what's going to happen over there. That's been talked about. That's another situation. That's been going on for years and years and years. I knew about that a long time ago. Cheney's got interest in that and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen, but, it looks like I think they're going to take down the Saudi family. And they're using ISIS as part of that, too, to do that besides Syria. That's what I think the long-range game plan is. That's why YouTube don't even like you criticizing ISIS. You know what I mean? I noticed that. Oh, God. I'm like, why? What do you want me to criticize ISIS for? Well, I think it's because it's part of our game plan to take down not only Syria, but the Saudi family. Probably Israel's going to be a driver's seat on the oil and the natural gas, and also the United States is going to come back on strong again. After Wall Street buys up all the freaking defunct oil wells that have been going freaking upside down due to all the debt they're in and stuff. It's the same old game, right? I mean, I don't want to tell it to you like same old shit they've been doing forever, man. Somebody else does all the work, and they come in here and buy it up on pennies on a dollar. They set them up, right? Jerks, assholes. That's why I don't like them up north, man. I have more thoughts on that, but I will not say that because it would probably be against YouTube's guidelines to say what I'd want to do to those Wall Street assholes. Anyway, so, and, if I really could, to tell you the truth, I would really like to make X-rated videos with this financial shit and keep it really serious and really crazy, and actually even have X-rated models. I noticed, if they ever have something like that, nobody ever combines that. I don't know how that would work, though, because some people get all bent out of shape about it, and you'd have to have it all filtered and whatever the hell it is. I don't know how you would do that, but that's why I don't put anything X on here, but I actually make things kind of crazy because it's like finance is a boring ass subject, isn't it? Crap. If I ever freaking get it working if I ever freaking have a CPA firm or some shit like that, I'll probably have dancing girls in a damn place. To tell you the truth, man, every time I go in that place, I get bored to death. Yeah, because I kind of work in a firm once in a while, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm just too much of a everything personality to freaking deal with that shit all the time. I used to deal with it all the time. But anyway, I realized rednecks are freaking really smart, you know. And, I tell you another thing I'll tell you just to add on here. I'll throw a plug in for another channel. You know, I found, besides the DIY Auto School in Southwest Rod and Custom Pete, one channel I've been really watching the hell out of. I never saw this guy before. He's up there in Oregon. Jeff Bradstreet or something, I think it is. Elderly Iron, man. I've been watching that shit out of his videos. I thumbs them all up. I think I watched all of them. Thumbs them all up. Man, what a good-ass redneck mechanic. Because I could tell you one thing. That's kind of, knowing that kind of stuff is probably more important than silver. You know? Silver's hands-on. Silver's real. But knowing that kind of stuff is really important. And hopefully we're going to get some other kind of videos out on besides this. But I just want to keep you abreast of what's going on. There's the retail sector sucks. Walmart is not just going down because of freaking Amazon and eBay and internet models and shit. They're going down because the retail models is going down. And a lot of people probably just getting fed up with buying shit from China, which they're starting to get some USA stuff in there. And, the other thing is, I think where we're really going to have a real major problem is all these records that were stolen from office personnel management, besides the eBay accounts and the Amazon accounts, those OPM accounts from the Office of Personnel Management records, there's going to be a lot of hacking into people's personal finances through that shit eventually. And I think that's going to cause people to freaking just get off the freaking electronic markets completely. And once that starts to happen, I think you're going to start seeing stuff like silver very, very popular. So just hang on. It's going to play out, man. And I know one thing. If I make a shitload off of silver, part of that money is going to go for property up there in near the Cherokee, what do you call that? The Cherokee National Forest in Johnson County, near Mountain City, up in Tennessee, in the Blue Ridge Mountains. I'll be having a place up there too, man. I figured screw Pennsylvania, screw West Virginia. I don't want to be a Yankee. I want to stay Dixie. So anyway, there you go.